Okay, so welcome to the Thirsty Thursday call. I'm Wayne Ulery, and the host of the call. We've been doing this call, if you're new, now for quite some time. We've been doing it since about February of 2008. And this call we do each and every Thursday as a way to reach out to the Monavie family, the Monavie community, with inspiration, motivation, tips, strategies, what have you, skills. And hopefully that by the time you finish this call tonight, you walk away with something more than when you started. And you feel empowerment or motivation or inspiration and go into the last day of our Monavie work week, if you want to call it that, with a bang, okay? Listen, if you're new to Thirsty Thursday, we do have a Facebook group and some other connections online. It's really great when I get a chance to sit down, because I normally pace while I'm doing the phone call. When I get a chance to sit down, we can comment on the different speakers. You know, we have Dr. Larry Linkous on tonight. We have Stacy and Kim White, and they are going to share some awesome nuggets of wisdom. And as you hear them share and mention things that ring true to you or that motivate you or inspire you, take a minute and post it in our group. It's a great way for the community to be kind of connecting throughout the call, sharing tidbits that they got, and it's a neat experience for those that are able to be on Facebook and listening to the phone call. If you can't get in front of the computer, hey, don't worry about it. You can check it at another time. But to get connected, all you need to do is take out your cell phone, okay, and you're going to send a text message. So what you do is you send a text message to the number 50500, and you're just going to text the word Thursday. So if you're on your cell phone, it's challenging for you to do. That's okay. Just write it down. You can do it at the end of the call. Just text the word Thursday to 50500. You'll get one quick message from me. It'll send you a link, and that way you can get connected with the community online and go from there. It's pretty simple from there. Listen, you guys know that the Black Diamonds are on an Alaskan cruise, right? I think they're out on that cruise. I did get some messages from Steve today, excited about tonight's call, and it just blows me away. I tell you what, if I'm on an Alaskan cruise, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know if you're getting any texts from me, but he somehow managed to get some messages out to me over the past several days. Excited about the call. Excited to have Dr. Larry Linkous on, as well as Kim and Stacy White. So they'll be coming back here soon. I've been hearing about how, coming up in Utah here, there's going to be a lot of amazing announcements, one of which I've heard a little about, and it has to do with that Jeep that they're giving away. So those of us that, get those iPads, you do what you got to do to get the iPad, you get a key with the ability to unlock a Jeep in Utah. But not only that, I understand there's going to be an ongoing promotion where by hitting a certain level or by, accomplishing whatever it is that they need for you to accomplish, we'll have an opportunity to get everybody will have an opportunity to get a Jeep. How about that? When's the last time? I worked for General Motors on the assembly line. They never had any opportunity for me to get a free car. Never. And I worked there 6 years. They never came up and down the line and said, hey, listen, tell a few people to drive GM and we'll give you a free car. They never said that to me. I can tell you they never said anything like that. As a matter of fact, I only remember maybe 2 times ever hearing from the CEO. His name was Rick Wagner back in those days. And I'll never forget the 2 times that I remember him talking. We were sitting in a break room and he came on through the TV and it was all about just like numbers, right? The company needs to be doing better, and there was no good news. There was nothing exciting. Nobody was having results with their health. Nobody was having any personal development, and I'm just amazed at the amount of the opportunity and all that it has within it over and above just a product for your health. And so tonight, I'm so glad to have you all with us to hear some wonderful speakers. I want you to take a minute, get your notepads out, get ready to receive. And, I don't do this all the time, but I'm going to do it tonight. And I'm just going to say a quick blessing over the people that are on the call. And Lord, I just pray a blessing on all the ears that are listening tonight, that everybody who has the ears to hear, that they would hear the messages of hope, of inspiration, of motivation. Lord, I just pray that every word that comes out of Dr. Larry's mouth and Kim and Stacy would have purpose, and that it would be driven into the hearts of the people that are listening, that those that need hope would get hope, those that need motivation would get it, those that need inspiration would receive it. And Lord, we just pray for everybody on this call to be blessed, and we just thank you for it in the only name I've ever known to pray, and that's the name of Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. Okay, so listen, I'm going to have on first my friends Kim and Stacy White, and I believe that Kim is going to start us off, and I'm going to have her share a little bit about their story in Monterey. As you have been grown accustomed to this call, I've adopted a format where I like to hear the stories of people. I like to hear a little bit about where they came from and how they came to be where they're at today. I think it helps us all, new and old, to hear the stories. And so, Kim, are you there?
Yeah, Wayne, thank you so much. How are you?
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. So, Kim, tell us just a little bit about your story, your background, what was going on when Monterey fell into your lap. Just spend a few minutes and just share the beginnings of your Monterey experience.
That sounds great, Wayne. Thank you. Hi, guys. I'm really excited to be on the call. I usually talk really fast because that's my personality, so I'll try and slow it down a little bit, especially when I get excited. But I'm so grateful, to be part of this call, and I want to share a little bit of our story, and I'm hoping that, it'll help reach some of you guys and help you achieve your goals. And Stacy and I, Stacy's going to be sharing right after I share a little bit. He's going to share about business building tips that I think are just going to be very helpful for you guys, so I'm excited. But going back 6 years ago, kind of seems like yesterday, we were two teachers kind of, living paycheck to paycheck, enjoyed teaching with the kids, but just couldn't seem to get ahead. So we started, I was tutoring after school, not getting home till late, and Stacy was doing after-school woodworking shops, and it just kind of kept us away from each other. That part I didn't like. And then we were in the kitchen, and the dishwasher and stove decided to break around the same time, and we were thinking at that time, okay, what credit card are we going to put this on, and, what's more important, the dishwasher or the stove to fix first? But anyways, so we're just two real people, and something wonderful happened at that time. My sister shared Monterey with us. I think things happen for reasons because we were kind of stuck. And we got such good results with the product that it just gave us enough belief in the product to kind of find it. We had to find out what it was all about. What do we had our hands on? Because we really were like, this is too good to be true kind of thing. We felt great. So we flew to Florida, put it on a credit card, and we made things work. We asked my upline, who's my sister, hey, can you share a room with us to make things work? Because we really didn't have, that much money at that time. So we made the best of it, had a lot of laughs in the room and whatnot. And at the big event, we got around like the real people. We saw their hearts. Their hearts were really good, the founder and everybody else. And I'll never forget, it kind of seems like yesterday, Stacy turned to me and he's like, Kim, when Matt Curtis was up on stage at Black Diamond, Stacy's like, he connected with him really well, both being carpenters, and he said, can we try this for a year? What do you think? Let's try this for a year and just don't leave anything out, and we'll see if it works or not. And I'm like, all right, we'll give it a year. And because that conference truly gave us the belief if we weren't there, I don't think we would have went back and ran so hard. But at the big event, just so you know how real we are, the first thing they said, you're going to want to build a list to start with, and they said start with your cell phone. And they're like, you have hundreds of people on your cell phone or a few hundred. And at the time I had like 30 or 40 people. And I thought, oh, my gosh, am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be any good? I can talk to one or two people, but, But anyways, they said to read, listen, and participate. And to grow with this business, they said, you just have to read, listen, participate. And the more you grow inside, the better your team's going to grow. So that's what we did. I read a lot of the books. I'm still reading every night before I go to bed. Helps me sleep better. Listening to the training CDs, going to as many conferences as we can, and the Thursday calls or any of the conference calls as we can, being plugged in. And that's helped us grow so much. And now we've gotten our Dream Lake, our house that we get to spend, more quality time with family and friends with. And we laugh a lot more even today. We're out and about sharing our Monavie, and we were laughing hysterically. And last but not least, we've made such wonderful friends through this journey, incredible memories. And Wayne, I'm sure you've had the same experiences with that, with friendships. And now all we're doing now is helping others to live their dreams. And I guess I was reading a book recently, and I liked a quote. It said, if there's a will, there is a win. So instead of there's a will, there's a way. If there's a will, there's a win. And I just want you guys to win, and I believe in all you guys. Oh, and one more last thing. Now the contacts on my phone, and I'm not, I'm being humble, just so that you know that if you keep doing this consistently and persistently, I have over 1,200 contacts in my phone, and that makes you really feel good when you have that many friends that are there for you and you're there for them. So I hope that helps Wayne reach somebody, and Stacy's going to share about his business building tips.
Yes, thank you so much. It was wonderful, and I just want to say something real quick, and then Stacy come on in. But you know what? When we're doing this business, when I used to do real estate, I used to go to people who were losing their house, and I used to knock on the door. And I knew this because I knew how to find this information out. And I used to train students in this. And my students would say, Wayne, how do you get in the door? Because these guys are burdened. They have a stack of letters they haven't opened. They're in a mindset. And I used to say, you know what? You could speak Spanish to the person when they open the door, so long as your heart is in the right place. It doesn't matter what you say, it's how you say it.
I so agree.
And Kim, just your sharing right there, I really could pick up your heart is what I wanted to say. If you listen to Kim just share there, even if you didn't speak English, you could hear her heart. You could hear she's a little giddy. You could hear she's a little excited. You could hear, she's excited about this. Go ahead, Kim.
And I so appreciate that. I feel bonded with you now. But going through the participation and all that stuff, it helps you get over those, the scary parts of being on the calls where you want to say the right things to help people, you want to say the right things, or getting up in front of people, or doing things you're not used to. So it helps so much get out of that comfort zone, and it just brings a happier life. It's wonderful. So I want to have that for other people. Thank you.
Yeah. You got it. And I just wanted to share that it's those things that are so important in this business. Hearing some nuggets and some different ways on how to do stuff is great, but if you don't have the heart that you just heard and Kim when she shared, go get one. and how do you do that? But just go care for somebody else, go help somebody else, go have some compassion on somebody else, go to the major function, share some product with someone who's got some health problems, touch someone's life, and I'm telling you what, it will rekindle your heart and it will awaken it if you are struggling in that area. So I just wanted to point that out because it was very evident and very easy to hear, and I totally just felt that connection. So thank you so much, Kim. And Stacy, you got it. And Stacy, I want to bring you on and hear. I do want to hear a little bit about what struck you. Where was the change? Where was the defining moment? Where did everything really click? Because I know for me, it was months before things really clicked for me in Monavie. I was making money and everything else, but I want to hear that moment where you had an aha, or you were like, okay, This is it. This is our way out. This is our vehicle. When did that happen? What? Can you explain it?
Sure. And I just want to thank you for having us on the call tonight. So it is truly an honor to be speaking. And I can tell you exactly when it happened. We first, like Kim said, her sister shared it with us, and I was a very skeptical person at the time. I didn't understand this type of industry or the product, and it took 2 months of her being persistent and keeping us informed and constantly sharing it with us before we finally said, okay, we'll try it. So it's a good thing we did, but I was still skeptical. I knew that the product was helping me, but I wasn't talking to anyone. I wasn't sharing it. And our upline suggested we get to a major event. We fly to Florida, and we get in front of the people that put this together and that were being successful. And my initial reaction was, no, we're not going. I didn't like to fly at the time, and we just didn't have the money. So, but he said to me, he says, have faith and go. He said, what if it works? And so that was one point. And so we did. We scraped some money together. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And we got on a plane and got to Florida. And we were sitting in the back. I remember we were sitting in the back left-hand corner of this big room with all these people. And I heard some people up there speaking, but it wasn't until Matt Curtis got up on stage, and Matt was a carpenter, and I was a carpenter before I was a teacher, and so there was a little connection. I was like, oh, what's this guy doing this for? And then he said 2 years ago he got started with it, and he retired. He just recently retired, gold-plated his hammer, and put it up on the wall. And I said, that was the moment that I just said, I want to do exactly what that guy did. And he went through some of at that time it was the map training with GPS training, and we just did exactly what he said to do, and it worked. So, so that was the moment for me, was hearing Matt.
That's awesome. And that was at a major function.
Yeah, at a major function, yeah. So if we didn't go, I highly doubt that we would be in the place we are right now.
Yeah, and I can agree as well. My first event was in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was a bronze going into it, just under 3 months into the business. And you know what? I'll never forget. They had tornadoes had just hit Atlanta before we got there.
I remember that.
You remember that? And we were on all the charter buses. They were chartering buses all over the place just because we were all spread out because we couldn't stay in a lot of the – I didn't even know what was going on. But as a result, I got to sit next to so many different people and hear so many stories, and that did it for me. Before I even listened to anybody on stage, the people that I got to talk with and hear their heart and hear what they were going through motivated me so much that when I got home, a week later I went silver, and a week after that I went gold. And I'll say the same thing. It was that major function that set the tone for me because it brought my belief and confidence to a whole new level. Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. So tell us a little bit about we just finished 6 weeks of a 30-30 plan. Tell us how your 30-30, you were on that, right, for the past 6 weeks, correct?
Yes.
Okay, tell us how the 30-30 plan went for you and your team. What'd you learn along the way? Because we are going into a second one now that's backed up to that one. So go ahead and share a little bit about your 30-30 experience.
Okay,
and tell people what it is. If there might be there may be some people on the phone who don't know what it is. Let them know what that is.
Sure. Well, the 30-30 promo, it's really a tool to get people out there doing income-generating activities. But ultimately, the goal is for corporate to get some data from people out in the field, to put together a game plan for someone getting in on an executive kit. So they'll know exactly what to do when they get in, and they've got some product and they've got the tools and the product. Now, what do they do? Well, the corporate's going to be able to base the results of this study or this promo and put it together into a game plan so that people will know exactly what activity they'll need to do over a certain period of time to be successful. And there is the new one has just started, which is 5 weeks. It starts July 28th through August 25th, I believe. And I'm sure you can still get involved in it. You just email NorthAmerica@Monavie.com and just give them your ID number and email. Tell them you want to be part of it. And really it's just a matter of placing a certain amount of product, scanning a certain amount of people, and having a home business review weekly. And so that's kind of a goal that is set for you to do this. So I talked to a friend of ours today. They actually just hit silver today because of this promo. And I asked them, I said, so what did it do for you? And they said, well, it got us out there having fun and just changing their routine. And, they were out there, playing miniature golf, going to the beach, chasing after ice cream trucks, and just talking to people that their income level and above, but kind of using this as something to break the ice. And just telling people about the promo and asking if they'll help out. I guess, in other words, they're telling, that, our company's doing a promo using some state-of-the-art technology, as Steve Merritt says, Apple-like technology that measures the levels of fruits and vegetables in your body. Would you like to know your score? Just something simple like that. And then scanning them and telling them what it means. Do this for a purpose, and telling them what it means and how, eating more fruits and vegetables or taking the products that we promote could help them feel better or have more energy, things like that. So, but I think the real important thing to remember is that it's just a tool, and to continue to use the system that's in place, using that GPS system, and kind of remembering that it's a. Steve Merritt would always tell me that it's a psychological business. People are going to put themselves in your shoes. If they don't like what you're doing, they're probably not going to do it. So if you're having fun, you could be a little crazy, but not too crazy. But if you're having fun and you're doing things that are duplicatable, that seem easily duplicatable, the enrollment rate tends to go up. You're going to attract more people if you're having fun. And I think with the couple that I just talked to today on the phone, that's exactly what they're doing with this. Just using this as a tool and just getting out there and having fun doing it. So. And I guess I could just share with. I could just share a little bit. Using the steps in the map book. Creating a why. Using the 30-30. What do you want to get out of that? By the end of the 6 weeks, you want to be at a level to do what? Like this couple here, wants to go on a trip to San Diego. Okay, so that was their why, and then setting some goals with the 30-30. You've got the goals are already set out there for you and what you need to do per week, and then making a list of people that you're going to contact. And these are all on pages in the map book. The why is on page 17. Setting goals is on 19 of the GPS book, and making a list of people to contact, page 24 will help you with that. And really, if you run out, which if you do this properly, you should never run out. But if you do, just making a list of the type of people that you want to talk to. So you may not know the owner of a certain store, but you could just write down the owner of that type of store, or maybe somebody that's driving a sports car, and just making a list of certain people that you want to talk to, and have that list. So if you see somebody that's driving a nice sports car that you want, you can that might be somebody to contact. And then just using the form to see, and that's on page 28 of the map, to pre-qualify people if they're looking or not. And that's when you could use the 30/30 promo to break the ice, and at least you know that you've got somebody that's looking. And for people that are not familiar with the form, it's just asking people about their family and their occupation, what they like to do for fun, recreation, and what motivates them. And ultimately, somewhere in asking those questions, you're going to find a motivation that would qualify them as a looker, whether it's for the health benefits or the financial benefits of the business. So that's kind of how we're doing the 30/30. I guess some of the other benefits are that you get free shipping with bulk orders, 6 to 12 cases. They're giving out prizes, and there's going to be a pizza party, I guess, at the Elevate conference, too.
Well,
does that
awesome.
help, Wayne?
Yeah, no, it's great. So, you personally, in your 30/30, what sorts of results did you see, or what would you share? Some positive things that came out of it for you.
I guess some of the positive things were it got us out there in order to get the number of scans in and the placing of the products. Revisiting some people that we had talked to before, and that resulted in some people getting involved that we had talked to 2 years ago, and they said no. And even though we followed up with them for a few months after that, we eventually we just didn't go back to see them. And but with a promo like this, it gets you kind of back out there, saying revisiting your list and getting back out there. That's what happened with us, and you never know where people are going to be later on in life. And so 2 years later, now we've got people that were at that time not interested, now are interested. So it's been fantastic. And for some people that hadn't signed someone up in a great deal of time, have been signing people up. Our enrollment rate has gone up tremendous over the last 6 weeks. So we're just real excited about that. It's like a new wave coming here. It's exciting.
That's awesome. Okay, so listen, before we bring on Dr. Larry Linkous next, I want you to share just one quick, for someone who's new joining in the business, today, maybe they joined your team in the past 60 days, or maybe they're joining today, and they're telling you, listen, I'm tired of my job. I want more. I want more for my kids. I want, what kind of advice are you going to give a new person that's joining your business today? What's the best advice you're giving right now to a brand new person? Next step.
Well, Wayne, I'll tell you, really the best advice, and I think you'd agree, is to get to the Elevate conference in Utah, getting to that major event. I truly believe it's the number one thing you can do to achieve your goals in this business and to get you where you want to be. I just know that for Tim and I'm very confident that we wouldn't be at Blue Diamond level if we had not gone to these major functions. I just truly believe that. So I would do whatever it takes to find a way to get people there and not take any excuses. You can make excuses or money, and So
but you can't make both, right?
That's right. So so rather than making excuses, help them make some money, and just find them a way. If they need a babysitter, find them a way. Like what we did, we had a yard sale to earn some money to get there. Our upline told us sell your TV or your lawnmower, because the time you spend doing that, you could become a millionaire in this business. And help them reschedule some things, or finding flights and hotels. I don't know if you did this, but on the website they've got that the meeting code that you can put in for Delta flights. We saved $250 off our flight, which was fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so just doing whatever you can to help them get there. That's that's where the leaders are created. That's where you're going to help your friends succeed the most. So, that would be my advice.
Wow. Well, you know what? Thank you so much, Stacy, for and Kim for coming on the call tonight. It was a pleasure having you. Definitely got to hear some good nuggets and things. And listen, if you guys want to get those discounts, they're right on the website, right? Monavie.com when you go to buy your tickets.
I just checked it, and the meeting code is NMGEA. So if you go to delta.com and book your flight, you can put that in as a meeting code and get a discount. Or you could call the number and have them do it for you.
Awesome. Maybe you could, if you had a chance, I saw you post in Facebook earlier, maybe you could just post that in the group, that meeting code. And that way people have it, because I know they're going to be asking. So, thank you.
I don't know if you can do it after you're already booked flights, but
okay. Well, sure.
But I imagine you probably could. Probably discount you. Yeah. So, I appreciate you having us on the call, Wayne. We're real grateful to be able to do it.
Okay, great. I'm so glad to have you. So you guys stay on, and we're going to hear from Dr. Larry Linkous. And again, thank you, Kim and Stacy White, Blue Diamonds, for being on the call tonight. All right, now listen, next is we're going to have Dr. Larry Linkous. He's been on a few times now on the call, and he's got a great book out there called Don't Grow Weary. I had it. I lent it to a friend, and I think I'm just going to go and have to buy a new one now, because I've learned it never works to lend books. I think if you give a book, you got to just figure it's not coming back. So I blessed someone else with it, Dr. Larry, and now I got to go get it and get blessed again, and I'll probably do the same thing over again.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Wayne. Can you hear me, Wayne?
Yeah, you sound great. Okay. Dr. Larry, if you could just share a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and whatever the Lord has put on your heart and you want to share with us tonight, you have an open microphone.
Well, Wayne, I thank you again. I thank you and Steve and Gina Merritt for the invitation to come tonight, and enjoyed so much. Kim and Stacy, how good are they? How good is that? I tell you, that's not easy to follow, but I'm just blessed to be here and a part of your friends and our friends across the Monavie community. And we love you. We bless you. So good to be speaking to you and sharing the great celebrations of each level of victory that we win. And I'm thankful to be a part of your night. And I have done this a few times, and I always say yes when I'm invited, because these are the kind of people, I'm sure that you that are listening know, that these are the kind of people in life that you want to be around. You want to plug your life into people that are winners, into people that are encouragers, into people that will help you elevate your dream. There's a lot of dream stompers. I talk about those people in my book. There's a whole lot of dream stompers in life, and don't allow anyone to steal your dream. Dream big, and don't allow anyone to steal your dream. I think of even Joseph. He shared his dream, and he shared his dream with people whom he thought would have celebrated his dream with him, with his family. And, well, you know the story about that. They were jealous of him, and his brothers took him and meant to kill him and threw him in a pit, and God delivered him. And actually, being sold into slavery was a type of deliverance. I don't know how that was so wonderful, but it spared his life, and he became, of course, as you know, a ruler over his people. And there's just people that just don't get it, and you just have to not allow those people to be empowering or speaking into your life, because they'll stomp your dream. And I've learned that in my life, that you just can't allow that. It's like talk to the hand. I mean, I'm gonna move forward. I have a dream. I'm going to hang around the people. I'm going to invest myself into the people. I'm going to allow the people that believe in me to speak into my life, and that's going to help me and cause me to succeed. I hear that in Kim and Stacy, of course, always in Wayne, and certainly what great leaders in Steve and Gina. I want to talk to you tonight for a few minutes, and thank you for the privilege to. I want to speak to you tonight about the servant principle. It's a chapter in my book. I'm not going to read the chapter, but it's chapter 6 in my book, Don't Grow Weary, and I thank you for the privilege of offering the book. You can just go to don'tgrowweary.com. If you don't have the book, it is 100% inspirational, motivational. I've written other books that are more doctrinal or otherwise, but this book is 100% inspirational, motivational, and I would love for you to have it in your life. Don'tGrowWeary.com will take you right to the places that you need to go to purchase this book. You can do it with your credit card. And I want you to have it in your life. But more than that, I want to share this principle with you tonight, and I call it the servant principle. And a special principle I attempt to live by in my life is found in the lines of a verse written by Paul in his letter to the Corinthians. And I want to talk, before I read the verse, I want to talk to you a moment about principles that you have in your life. You're either living a life based on solid principles, or you're living a life managing crisis. You know, you watch people's lives. I don't want you to judge people, wrongly, but you can't help seeing people's lives. And principled people. We say, well, those are principled people. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means those are people that have defined certain basic planks in the platform of their lives. And they built those planks into the foundation of their lives. And those are the principles upon and out of which they live their lives. And then there's unprincipled people. We know we hear that term. Well, those people are unprincipled. What does it mean? Well, it means they have not defined very many principles. They have not placed into the platform, into the foundation of their life, solid principles, and they pretty much live their lives managing crisis. They live in a crisis. I've found that in my own life, in my life and Sandra's lives, we find that where our principles are in place, our crisis events are practically eliminated. Where our principles are in place, our crisis events are practically eliminated. For instance, let me just give you just to give you a handle on that idea. In Florida, where we live, we have a sign. I don't go into the fast food little stores very often, but when I do, like a 7-Eleven, right when you touch the handle on the door, there's a sign that is on the door that says, if you rob this store with a handgun, whatever, you'll get automatically so many years. I don't even know how to read it very much. And the reason I don't really know what it says, although I know it's there, it doesn't apply to me. I'm not going to, you know why? Because I'm not going to rob that store with a handgun. Because my principles are in place. I'm not going to go into the 7-Eleven and do my shopping with a handgun. I don't do my grocery shopping with a handgun. We go in with some money and buy our groceries and do our shopping in the grocery store rather than going in there to steal something. The point being that the principle in that is that I'm not a thief. I'm not going to steal a candy bar. I'm not nervous. My hands don't get sweaty when I touch that handle on that door. Ooh, I wonder if I'm going to steal a Hershey bar in here today. No, because my principles are in place. I'm not going to steal it. They're immovable. It's a solid rock plank in the platform of my life, and it's not something that causes me crisis. I'm not in crisis when I walk into that little store, whether I'm going to steal something or not, because the principle is in place. Now, that's just one, it's a major principle, but it's just one of so many other principles that I'm just using as an idea, as an example of putting principles in your life. And when the principles are in your life, in place, the crisis dissipates. There's no crisis. There's no crisis in my life about stealing something in the 7-Eleven. Now, how many things you could just fill up a whole just pages of places that need to be principled in your life. And I have a principle tonight that I want to share with you, and I really want it to inspire you and encourage you and help you to become just way high on these great ladders that we're climbing together for great success in the industry and among the Monavie community. A special principle I attempt to live by is found in this verse in 1 Corinthians 9:19 from the Apostle Paul. Now watch, there's a principle in here. It may be hidden a little bit, but I'm going to just show it to you. You may see it immediately. Though I am free, he says, though I am free and belong to no man, I make myself a slave to everyone to win as many as possible. Though I am free and belong to no man, he says, in 1 Corinthians 9:19, I make myself a slave to everyone to win as many as possible. Now, what does that say? What he's saying is, look, I don't have to do this. I don't have to go out here and suffer and be beaten and be thrown in jail for this message. I can just sit over in Antioch and talk, with my friends and laugh. I'm a born-again Christian. He says, I'm on my way to heaven. I'm paraphrasing here. I don't have to go out here and suffer all of this to earn my way to heaven, because Christ has earned my way to heaven. I'm free from that. I can sit in Antioch, I can sit over on the sofa, and I can eat bologna sandwiches and drink iced tea and potato chips and die of high cholesterol and go to heaven. I don't have to do this. I'm free from this. But here he says, look, I'm free and belong to no man, but I make myself a slave to everyone to win as many as possible. Well, here's the principle there. It may be kind of weaved in there, but here it is. It jumps out at me, and this is it. If you want it, serve it. If you want it, serve it. I find that in my life, for the most part, that what I serve, I win. For the most part in my life, 99% of the time, maybe 100%, if I really want it, check it in your own heart, in your own mind. Do you really want this? Do you really want that next level of success? Do you really want to step up onto that next rung of the ladder in your industry, in your community, in your success? Well, whatever there is there that is in your arena of ability, you have to serve it. If you want it, serve it. If I want my marriage, as a pastor, I pastored this church. We pastored in Titusville, Florida for 30 years. And we love it, and we're thrilled to do it. My son pastors with me. And we have a great staff, a number of pastors, and a great fellowship. And I invite you to come to church with us if you're in the area at New Life Christian Fellowship. You can go to our website and check us out at newlife.com, find, F-I-N-D, newlife.com. That's not necessarily a commercial. It's just an invitation. But I find that in being a pastor, that there's, as in your life, there's so many things that you have to do. But I do not claim to be, a marriage counselor as such. We have people in our department in our church where people can go for counseling, but not so much for me. I'm a mentor, and I spend my life pouring my life into people and sharing my life with people, and mostly the people that are the closest around me. I share my life mostly, and then it goes out and out and out from there. But I find that that as a man that's asked from time to time to deal with people's marriages, that I have a very basic question that I ask, and I don't deal with marriage as much, other than my own and possibly those that are on my staff, but because there's great people around me that do it a lot better than I do. But here's the question. I've done it before. And here's the question I would do next time. If there's a husband and wife sitting in front of me, and they're having some kind of difficulty in their marriage relationship, I would just say to the husband, I would do this. I've done it, and I would do it again. This is what I do. I don't do it often because I don't counsel much with marriages. I would say to him, turn to her and ask her. Ask her right now, look at her, and say, what is it in your life that I can do to serve you better? Turn to her and do it. That's your responsibility. I'm going to talk to you, and I'm going to spend my time with you. Here's what I want you to do. Turn to that lady right there, your wife, and say, what is there in your life that I can do to serve you better? And then I want you, young lady, to turn to this man and say to him, what is there in your life that I can do to serve you better? Because I find that in any relationship, and certainly what greater relationship is there than your marriage, that if I can serve that person, if I can serve my wife, then I win her. If I know, many times as guys, we just, maybe, I hate to say, maybe we're clueless. So it's so important that we ask, what is there? It's not a marriage counseling tonight, but it's just the point I'm making. Maybe it is marriage counseling, and it's good if it is. What is there in your life that I can do to serve you better? Because I find if I serve it, I win it. I think of that with my son. He's been on staff. Our son has been on staff in our church for 17 years, long time. And I think of when he was young, and I'm blessed that we had the time. We had one son. Our church was smaller, and only one child. How we served the purposes of our son. When he was young, when he was 12 years old, the tennis coach of the high school here in our town, one of them, discovered Jason playing tennis on the courts, 12 years old. And he brought him into the tennis practices with the high school team at 12 years old. And he saw him down there. He was a very smart man. He saw him in the city courts playing tennis, identified a guy that had some future. And we served it. And then I served the purposes of Jason and his tennis career. Wasn't easy pastoring a church. Many times, we would have our services and get in the car right after church on Sunday. If he made it through the semifinals, we played the final, we'd be there. We would do all we could before we had a car to make sure we got there, to be his biggest fans. And we were. And we are. And we served the purposes of our son, all the way to the level of him getting a full scholarship at Flagler College. This is years ago now. At Flagler College in St. Augustine, Florida, and playing college tennis, and we loved it. It was a beautiful season in our lives. But the point is, beyond that, is that, Jason is probably my best man friend. My wife is my best friend. But Jason, out of all the men in my life, is probably the best man for them. We just sat together. We sat together today. You know, we work hard together, and we laugh together. And, you know, he has this beautiful family. I love them, and our grandsons. And we just, but it's because if I didn't know all these principles, I didn't really know that I was doing as well as I was. If I was, many times I failed miserably. But I realized it was part of this right here, this principle that if I wanted him in my life, I needed to serve. That's so different than so many preachers I've heard of their lives. They got so married to the ministry, got so demanded of other people that they failed to serve their own families, and they lost their children in the sense of friendships. Their children became rebellious and rose up and, you know, it strained any relationship. And of course, even professional people. I love to hear when Kim and Stacy talk about how they have time for each other now. How this business, this Monterey community has allowed them to have time with one another, and they have an ability and a freedom to truly serve one another and the purposes of life, and laugh together and enjoy life together. It just means so very much. I remember when our church was very small, it wasn't long until I realized that we had very few people in our church with babies. We didn't have many people anyway, but we started the church with 6 people. It's a lot larger than that now. We didn't have many people anyway, but we hardly have any babies. And I made a plan to decorate and staff a small nursery for infants and nurseries and toddlers in our church. And some people looked at me rather oddly and asked, well, Pastor, why are you creating a nursery? We don't have any babies. And I answered, the reason we don't have any babies is because we don't have a nursery. When we started the nursery, families with babies started showing up. And they stayed. If you want babies, if you want families with babies, you have to serve the purposes of families with babies. And that's the point I want to make tonight, and I won't take much longer to do it. But I just want you to know tonight that you need to be proud of yourself. And you need to encourage one another in what you're doing. And whatever it is that next level that to where you're reaching, serve the purposes that are there. Serve the people. Pour your life out into the people and serve them. And this is a part of the very principles of the Monterey community anyway, is to help them, is to promote them, is to lift them up, is to give them a hand up and help them succeed. Because in serving those purposes of those people around you, you will cement great relationships, and you will find yourself a massive success, and you will find great joy in this life, because this life is really about serving others. If you serve it, whatever it is, look at it. If you serve it, if you want it, serve it. And I find in my life, and I believe you find in yours, and you will, that as you serve it, it will come to you, and it will embrace you, and you'll find yourself in the middle of great success. Well, I just enjoyed tonight. I get up early in the mornings. I do radio. I've done radio for 22 years every morning. I may invite you to join me tomorrow morning, even online at findnewlife.com. I'm on the radio tomorrow morning at 6:30. Again, that was this morning. For 2.5 hours, I'll be on the radio from 6:30 until 9. I've done that for 22 years. And so I don't stay up late much. It's a miracle that I'm putting a few words together tonight. Yes. I get up at 5 o'clock, and of course you do too. But some of you guys get up early and stay up late, and it doesn't bother you. Some of you are night people. Some of you are morning people. I'm a morning person, but I'm blessed tonight to stay up to Thirsty Thursday night, this beautiful community of Monterey partners, and speak to you. And I hope that something I've said tonight has elevated your life, has helped you to place some planks in the platform of your life, and that you can use that as foundational as you succeed, as you reach. and as you celebrate life, serving others. I bless you. Thank you for that prayer that opened us up tonight, Wayne. I just believe in that power of prayer. I always say there's one thing greater than prayer. It always gets people's attention. It's kind of shock value. There's one thing greater than prayer. And people look at me and I say, answered prayer. Answered prayer. So we believe in your prayer, and we thank God that he answers your prayer. And I pray for you, and I bless you. Let me just give you my Facebook page, Dr. Larry Linkous, and I'll be shouting out to you and the Montevideo community on my Facebook page. Thank you for listening, and thank you again, Wayne, for the privilege to speak to this beautiful community tonight. I love you, and God bless you, my brother.
God bless you too, Dr. Larry Linkous. Thank you so much for being on. Listen, guys, as we do every Thursday, I'm going to open up the lines. You can give a shout-out of where you're from and who you are. So this is Wayne Ullery from Youngstown, Ohio.
Stacy and Kim from
Colleen King, New Hampshire.
Jim and Karen Kane from Long Island, New York.
Howard Long from Boca Grande, Florida.
Pat and Wally White from Martha's Vineyard.
Howard and Christy Kay, woohoo!
Dean and Nita, Rockaway, Florida.
Bernice Treviso, Andrews, Texas.
Amber Best, Indianapolis, Indiana.
Kim Craig, College Station, Texas.
Carr, Westlake, Ohio.
Sam and Mary Sines, Houston, Texas.
I'm Jane from PA.
Maureen Simpson, Fort McMurray, Alberta.